Hi, Gareth. Nice to see you. Look, first off, just how are you feeling going into what feels like a massive game on Sunday?
Yeah, excited. Looking forward to it. I think it's first time for me as a coach at Old Trafford, so looking forward to that experience. And yeah, expecting a lively derby.
How happy are you with how the team's playing, with the form going into this game?
I'm really happy with the way the team is playing. I think in all of our performances this season, I think in all of the competitions that we played, we've had different challenges in front of us. But I think in general, the play has been good. Obviously, I think at the top end of the pitch is where we need to be more ruthless and finish off all of our kind of opportunities that we create, or make them into better opportunities, I think, in some cases. Because you could certainly see that, we obviously went to Leicester and won 1-0 in a game we probably should have opened up and scored more. Similar feeling, obviously, Arsenal more recently, and then obviously Sunday, everybody could see that we kind of dominated all of the stats, but not the most important one, which is winning the game.
Just how big do you feel this game is, not just because it's a derby, but just for the whole season?
Well, it is. We've always spoken, haven't we, previously about the fine margins. 2 games ago we were top of the league and now we sit 6th. And, I think this is really important in our title challenge. Of course, there's no denying that because you don't want to lose too much ground. So, yeah, of course, each game is so important and there's none that you can neglect. And a draw or a defeat sometimes can really hit you hard because it's so tight, the margins with the minimal games that we play.
And finally, just how is everyone team news-wise?
Yeah, good availability in terms of players that are available to be selected. So that's good in that sense. And the training's been good this week, and the players are looking sharp and lively and looking forward to the challenge.
Hi Gareth. Just on that, how is Alex Greenwood doing at the moment? Is she recovering well from?
Alex is good. Yeah, she's trained the last couple of days, which is good. So good to have her back in. And obviously, I think we've missed her probably leadership in the last couple of games and the quality that she brings as well. So, of course, having her back is great to have her as an option. She's gone through all of her checks and everything is absolutely fine. So, available for the weekend.
Thank you. And how have the team responded to the Brighton result? Have you noticed maybe a fire in the belly or for a reaction to that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this game doesn't need kind of any building up. I think it's big in its own right. Always is this case with a derby with the local city rivals. So, yeah, of course. I think the atmosphere and the spirit's been really good. The team have regrouped really quickly after the disappointment of last Sunday, and of course that's really important to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll know this stat, but no side's ever lost more than twice in the WSL and still managed to win a title, and obviously you've now lost 2 games already, so by that token, do you feel you need to go unbeaten for the rest of the league campaign to be in with a shout for the title?
Of course, yeah, to be in with a shout, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think it's we've established at the beginning of the season what we need to do in order to win the league and what that looks like in terms of the breakdown. But yeah, it's just a case of being there and taking those points. And of course, I think Arsenal and Brighton, it quite easily could have been or should have been games where we don't lose those games. And of course, it can happen, and it's difficult. But of course, yeah, remaining unbeaten now is the objective for the rest of the season. Always has been, and that's what I want to see with the players, and I've seen it this week, and I've seen the whites of their eyes that they're ready for this game, and we're going out to go and do the business at the weekend.
Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you.
We'll go to Zoom now. Start with you, Emma.
Yeah, hi Gareth. Hope you're well. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
I don't know whether I don't know whether you've seen. There was an interview that Jill Ward did, I think, with Sky Sports actually, and she was discussing kind of the changes between like German football and English football, the differences really. And she said that in Germany they focus more on sort of winning and the results, and in England perhaps there's more focus on the performances. I just wondered what your thoughts were, because obviously you said there you were happy with Man City's performances, but do you think there is an element of that where perhaps here in England that there needs to be a bit more focus on maybe just the results and sometimes not necessarily playing a pretty way, I guess?
Well, look, it's our way. There's many ways to skin a cat. People have different ways of playing, and that's fine, and that's all good with them. And one of the major reasons why Jill joined us was because of how we play and what we do. But to put that into a category of not wanting to win is far from it. I don't think that was her intention in terms of saying that. I think that she was basically saying that she can bring, obviously, a little bit of what she learnt in Germany. So I think that's fantastic that you've got a player who's new to the club, who's come in and settled really well into the group, who now wants to take on that bit of leadership in terms of, okay, girls, this is what it kind of looks like. So, yeah, nothing changes in what we do. What we do is means to an end of winning the games. And, we feel in the way that we do things, we give ourselves a much better opportunity. If we're really effective in that space, it gives us a much better opportunity of winning more games than losing. So, the process remains the same, and the objectives are the same for us. It's always about winning.
Yeah, absolutely. Just final one from me. You said before you haven't managed a game at Old Trafford before, and that's something that obviously you're looking forward to. I just wondered, when that was announced, everyone thinks about the players and how big a moment it is in their careers to be playing in these big derby matches at places like Old Trafford. But for you as a manager, that must be a personal highlight as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Looking forward to it. I think it's great, and it'd be nice if it became more normal. That type of occasion, and I'm sure the way things are going, it will be.
Nice one. Well, all the best. See you Sunday.
Thanks,
Gareth.
Thanks, Emma. Mike.
Hi Gareth, you okay?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good. Just on that note, obviously playing at stadiums like Old Trafford isn't all too common yet, but we are seeing it more. Has that, I don't know, kind of to say the players can't be fazed by the big stadiums anymore, is that gone, or does that still exist?
It's hard to say until probably post-match. I think at the moment it will probably be I can't speak for the United players in terms of how often they play there. I know they played there a few times last season. Some teams tend to use their main stadium a lot. I think the more familiar it is, the more you do it, I can imagine the more kind of comfortable you feel in those surroundings. So it's really hard for me to tell you how the players would feel in that space. But yeah, I think it's great to have a good occasion in a main stadium with a good crowd there. Obviously being shown on television as well. I think it makes for a good spectacle.
And Mark Skinner said in his post-match interview last week that he said, we're unpredictable the way we score, teams playing against us. Well, how can you prepare to play against us? So how do you prepare to play Manchester United?
Well, of course, we identify who the kind of dangerous players are, where we might potentially prosper in terms of how and when we have the ball. But of course, I think they have good players, there's no doubt, but so do all of the teams in the WSL, and we'll always make sure that we're fully aware and the players are fully aware of where their potential dangers may lie, and they've got good options as well. They've recruited well in the summer, so I think being ready for that unpredictability of which type of attacking players are going to go with, which midfielders are going to go with, is always something that we need to be ready for. But I'd always say it's more about us and what we do. I think this season when we've been good, it's been down to us, and when we haven't been so good, it's been down to us.
Thanks, Gareth.
Thank you.
We'll go to Dan next.
Hey Gareth, hope you're well.
Thanks, Dan.
Just one question, really. I know obviously the shoe was on the other foot last year, where you kind of had a great run in the Academy Stadium, and then you played the derby at the Etihad, and I know that was quite challenging. I suppose, but how different is the preparation? I suppose moving, the derby game from you start your normal stadium to the main stadium, and could that work for you this weekend in terms that it's the first time that United have done it?
Yeah, of course. It's the first time this season that they've done it, and they'll have, like I said previously, they've recruited new players, so that'll be a new experience for them as well. So yeah, it was quite tough for us last season at the Etihad, because it was, for many of the players, the first time they'd ever been there. So it became almost felt at times like a little bit of a neutral venue, even for probably all of the staff as well. The first time they've been there and taken a game. So I think, like I say, the more familiar and the more often we can do that, have these experiences, if we're going to do it, I think it's really important to help us become more comfortable in those surroundings.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Gareth. Best of luck for the weekend. Cheers.
Thank you.
And finally, Katie.
Hi, Gareth. Hope you're well.
Hi.
I was wondering, because obviously we've been at different positions in women's football around the big stadium matches, where maybe sometimes in the past the stadium and the occasion's been the selling point maybe more than the event on the pitch. I just wondered, do you think we've reached a stage now where the football's selling itself, or is it about the players and the kind of narratives around them, or is it the occasion of the stadium? What's your view on that kind of aspect of it?
Yeah, I think when the original derby was played in the Etihad, I think that was probably, you would say that was more about the occasion. I think now it seems to be more about, the players and the competition and the rivalry and all of those things. The rivalry is always there, but I think, it's certainly lending itself more now to the focus on the players and everything that they do, which is great. And the competition and the competitive nature that we have in the WSL as well is really high. So, yeah, I think it's more than just the occasion of having it in a big stadium now. I think, and the more often it can happen, I think the better.
And last one for me, what do you think we need, because these games are often kind of a showpiece occasion with a view to getting people to turn up more regularly. What do you think we need to do to build those relationships between fans and players? Do you think it is about, I don't know, what do you think in your view is going to be the key thing to get people coming back?
I don't know. I think, the club or our club particularly are really good in interacting with supporters and asking them what they think and what would be, the ideal scenario. And I think most of the bits that come back, or some of the main bits, would be around availability and maybe opportunity to watch both the men's and the women's games. And I think this is the perfect game, really, and the perfect setting, because it's international break for the men's. The game's being shown live on Sky. Supporters are having that opportunity and not having to pick between another game on a Sunday, which I think is first thing. But yeah, I think it's interacting with supporters, which we do really well. We do a hell of a lot of communicating with our supporters to find out what they think, and because sometimes they come up with the best ideas.
Thank you. Good luck for Sunday.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All good?
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.